So we'll be discussing on Canto 5, Chapter 3, entitled Rishabdeva's Appearance in the Womb of Meru Devi, the wife of King Nabi. See, just in the beginning only they give you the summary, right? It says, in this chapter, the spotless character of King Nabi, the oldest son of Agnidra, is described. Wanting to have sons, Maharaj Nabi underwent severe austerities and penances. He performed many sacrifices along with his wife and worshipped Lord Vishnu, master of all sacrifices. Being very kind to his devotees, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was very pleased with the austerities of Maharaj Nabi. He personally appeared before the king in his four-handed feature, and the priests who were performing the sacrifices began to offer their prayers unto him. They prayed for a son like the Lord, and Lord Vishnu agreed to take birth in the womb of Meru Devi, the wife of King Nabi, and incarnate as King Rishabdeva. So if you see in this chapter, the verses are not like normally we have, right? Why? Because actually in the 17th verse of this chapter only, Shukadeva Goswami is telling, the priests who were even worshipped by King Nabi, the emperor of Bharatavarsha, offered prayers in prose. Generally they were in poetry, right? So they were in prose. Prose means normally when you just go on reading. There's no tune or there's no rhythm or something. Just like the priests in the when they have any sacrificing function, they used to recite, just go straight like that. So that's why it is long. So it's just like a prose. So just read the first verse and then later on. Shishukovacha Nabirapatya Kamo Prajaya Meri Devya Bhagavantam Yajna Purusham Avaitam Mayajato. So in the first verse he says, Shukadeva Goswami continued to speak. Maharaj Nabi, the son of Agnidra, wished to have sons, and therefore he attentively began to offer prayers and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the master and enjoyer of all sacrifices. Maharaj Nabi's wife Meru Devi, who had not given birth to any children at that time, also worshipped Lord Vishnu along with her husband. So similarly, the prayers, we have to just Tasya Vava Shuddhaya Vishuddha Bhavena Yajataha Pravagrayeshu Pracharatsu Dravya Desh Kala. Like that you can go on reading the whole verse. So the translation by Sri Prabhupada, he says, in the performance of a sacrifice, there are 7 transcendental means to obtain the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 1. By sacrificing valuable things or eatables. 2. By acting in terms of place. 3. By acting in terms of time. 4. By offering hymns. 5. By going through the priest. 6. By offering gifts to the priests. And 7. By observing the regulative principles. However, one cannot always obtain the Supreme Lord through this paraphernalia. Nonetheless, the Lord is affectionate to his devotee. Therefore, when Maharaj Nabi, who was a devotee, worshipped and offered prayers to the Lord with great faith and devotion, and with a pure, uncontaminated mind, superficially performing some yajna in the line of pravargya. Pravargya is for offering sacrifices for fruitive, right? So the kind Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to his affection for his devotee, this is very important, due to his affection for his devotee, appeared before King Nabi in his unconquerable and captivating form with 4 hands. In this way, to fulfill the desire of his devotee, the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested himself in his beautiful body before his devotee. This body pleases the mind and eyes of the devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavancha yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord. By such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. So one can understand and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the process of devotional service and not in any other way. It's very categorically Prabhupada says in the purport. So although Maharaj Nabi performed prescribed duties and sacrifices, it should still be considered that the Lord appeared before him not due to his sacrifices, but because of his devotional service. It was for this reason that the Lord agreed to appear before him in his beautiful bodily features. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.30, the Supreme Lord in his original nature is very beautiful. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksam Barhavatam Samasitambuda Sundarangam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, although blackish, is very, very beautiful. So slowly let us see some of the lessons we can learn, right? So in this chapter we saw, so by reading this chapter, I was reminded of the in Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 4th chapter. Hiranyakashipu terrorizes the universe. See, after getting the benediction from Lord Brahma, when Hiranyakashipu troubled the demigods, they along with Lord Brahma took shelter of Lord Vishnu and offered him prayers. Then Lord replied to them, because Hiranyakashipu is terrorizing, so Brahma and all the demigods, they went to Lord Vishnu and they prayed. And then the Lord replies in verse number 7.4, 7th canto, 4th chapter, 25th and 26th verse. Very beautiful verses. Mabhaishta vibudha shreshtaha sarvesham bhadramastuvaha maddarshanam hi bhutanam sarva shreyopapattaye nyatam etasya dauratmyam daiteya prasadasya yat tasya shantim karishyami kalam tavat pratikshate. Translation, beautiful translation by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. The voice of the Lord vibrated as follows. What does Krishna, the Lord responded to the prayers? O best of learned persons, do not fear. I wish all good fortune to you. How wonderful, right? After saying the prayers of Krishna, he reciprocates. He says, O best of learned persons, do not fear. That's what he says in Sarvodharma, Mahashuchaya, do not fear. I wish all good fortune for you. And next statement he says, become my devotees by hearing and chanting about me. Become my devotees by hearing and chanting about me and offering me prayers. For these are certainly meant to award benedictions to all living entities. I know all about the activities of Hiranyakashipu and shall surely stop them very soon. The next statement is very important for everyone. Please wait patiently until that time. That is kalam tavat pratikshata. So Krishna is telling to the demigods, right? He could have finished, but he said, please wait patiently until that time. He said, I will surely stop him. So beautiful statements, right? Do not fear. I wish all good fortune to you. So how he is telling how? He says, become my devotees. How? By hearing and chanting about me and offering me prayers. For these are certainly meant to award benedictions to all living entities. So please wait patiently until that. So the Lord assured his devotees that he would protect them from Hiranyakashipu definitely. And that by becoming his devotee and patiently performing devotional service, they are assured of all benedictions. So we should be patient, right? But we should become his devotees. It's the same, Manmana Bhavat Bhakto, he says in Bhagavad Gita. See, nowadays, even though we are not tormented by demons, okay, we trouble our own self and others because of so many anarthas which are present in our hearts. See, for example, being envious of others, always craving for honor and respect, name and fame, we make mistakes, but forgetting our mistakes immediately. But always remembering mistakes of others, insignificant mistakes of others, and also not forgiving them, even after years, right? So the list goes on. Now, these anarthas, actually they are tiny Hiranyakashipus in our hearts. And these things will kill our peace of mind, correct? Not only ours, even the people around us, their peace also is gone. So the point is, on our own endeavor, it is not possible to get rid of this demonic behavior. So how can we get rid of these tiny Hiranyakashipu which is present in our hearts? That's why the Lord is replying to the demons in this verse, right? And that provides us the solution. See, the Lord being our Supreme Father, He assures that He would protect us and wipe out all the anarthas. So all we need to do is hear, chant, and offer prayers unto Him patiently. Don't expect results immediately. Go on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Go on hearing Krishna Katha. You are doing now. You are hearing Krishna Katha. Offer prayers, recite some shlokas. Patiently go on doing it. The package which Prabhupada has given, right? So Lord being fully cognizant, He knows when, where, and how to protect us. So in the purport, Prabhupada says the importance of this mad darshanam, right? Sometimes people are very much eager to see God. The word mad darshanam, seeing me, which is mentioned in this verse, right? One should see Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati, 18.55, we just saw. The ability to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to see Him or talk with Him depends on one's advancement in devotional service, and which is called bhakti. So Prabhupada also explains that in this case the demigods, they just heard Lord's voice. They didn't see Him, they just heard. But hearing the Lord is as good as seeing Him. So let us remember the truth and abide by Lord's instructions and patiently perform the devotional service and seek the protection of Lord Nrsimhadev to destroy the demons in our hearts. See, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, He treats all living entities equally for He's the Supreme Father. And due to His causeless mercy, both demons and devotees get liberated by His transcendental touch. See, in his book, Laws of Nature, Prabhupada very nicely mentions the destination reached by devotees and that of the demons. He says, Krishna's planet and the Vaikuntha planets are beyond the Brahman effulgence, and that only devotees can enter those spiritual planets. The Gyanis, the mental speculators, they practice severe austerities to enter the Brahman effulgence. But the demons who are killed by Krishna are immediately transferred to that Brahman effulgence. So just consider, is the place that is given to the enemies of Krishna very good, very covetable? That's why just consider, is the place that is given to the enemies of Krishna very covetable? The point Prabhupada makes is, if my enemy comes to my house, I may give him some place to stay. But if my intimate friend comes, I give him a much nicer place to stay. Right? So this Brahman effulgence is not at all covetable. In this way, the devotees are above the karmis, jnanis and yogis. Devotees' place is the highest because only by devotion can one understand God. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. There's a story about the flute, Venu. Flute, right? The service of the flute to Krishna. So once, gopis in Vrindavan very curiously asked the flute, how do you maintain yourself to remain constantly near and dear to Krishna? What is the secret? Please tell us. So the flute replied, first of all, I became straight. Then I became hollow internally. Over my body, I made 6 holes and fully surrendered to Krishna and gave up Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya completely. 6 anarthas. I know that I have no value without Krishna's touch, and I fully depend on His mercy. And when Krishna blows me, the transcendental vibrations pass through me and the entire world gets the message of Bhagavad Dharma. So we learn, what are the lessons we learn from this flute now? Number 1, we must be simple and straightforward in our dealings with others. 2, we must not have any corners in our heart or carry any baggage. Right? Thinking of, again, leave it. Yesterday is gone, now today is a new day. And 3, you must sincerely attempt to give up lust, anger, greed, pride, envy and delusion. And 4, we must surrender to Krishna and sincerely pray to Him to use us as His instrument to spread His glories to others. So then we will be able to approach Krishna. So Prabhupada says, except for devotional service, there is no possibility of understanding the absolute truth. Any other process is imperfect because it is based on speculation. See, we celebrate so many festivals, right? Like Janmashtami, Damodar month. Such festivals are a very good opportunity for all of us to serve Krishna as we get an opportunity to serve Krishna with great love and affection. And Krishna also gives the opportunity for us to approach the new living entities, right? And give them the gift of Krishna consciousness. See, in the wonderful purport of Bhagavatam 9.4.64, Prabhupada says, not only does the Supreme Personality of Godhead enjoy the company of his devotees, but because he is unlimited, he wants to increase his devotees unlimitedly. Krishna also wants to increase. So he descends to the material world to induce the non-devotees and the rebellious living entities to return home back to Godhead. So he requests them to surrender unto him, Sarva Dharmam Parityajya, because unlimited as Krishna is, he wants to increase his devotees unlimitedly. So the Prabhupada says the Krishna conscious movement is an attempt to increase the number of pure devotees of the Supreme Lord more and more. So it is certain that a devotee who helps in this endeavor to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes indirectly a controller of the Supreme Lord. See, it does not matter whether the people whom we invite join the program or not. But Krishna is more pleased with the attempt rather than the result. See, Jatayu, in his attempt to protect Mother Sita from Ravana, lost his life. In fact, Jatayu could not save Sita from Ravana, right? But still Lord Ram did the final rites for Jatayu and considered him as his father, even though from the material angle of vision, it will appear as though Jatayu failed in his service to protect Sita. See, Lord was simply satisfied by Jatayu's sincere attempts. Krishna sees the endeavor and not the result. It is up to him to give his mercy. So let us all pray sincerely, the Lotus of Krishna, Prabhupada, Guru, right, to bestow their mercy upon all of us, so that we can have an opportunity to approach Krishna with pure love and devotion. And by his mercy, give this gift of Krishna Bhakti to others as well. See, in the third verse, Lord Vishnu appeared before King Nabhi with 4 arms. He was very bright. And he appeared to the best of all personalities. See, around the lower portion of his body, he wore a yellow silken garment, just a Srivastha mark. So all this, everything beautifully it was given, right? So it is distinctly mentioned that Supreme Personality did not appear as an ordinary human being. He appeared before the King Nabhi and he is as the best of all personalities, Purushottama. It is given in Vedas, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, Katha Upanishad. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also a living being, but he is a supreme living being. That's why 7.7 Bhagavad Gita says, Lord Krishna himself says, Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. No one is more attractive or more authoritative than Lord Krishna. That is one of the differences between God and an ordinary living being. So according to the description of transcendental body of Lord Vishnu, the Lord can easily be distinguished from all other living beings. So Maharaj Nabhi and his priests and associates all offered the Lord obeisances and began to worship him with various things. See, it is given in Bhagavad Gita 6.22. Yam ladhva chaparam labham manyate nahadikam tatah. Upon gaining this, one thinks that there is no greater gain. So when one realizes God and sees the Lord face to face, one certainly thinks that he has gained the best of all things. Rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So when one experiences a higher taste, his consciousness is fixed. After seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one ceases to be attracted by anything material. One then remains steady in his worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, very important. See, we just saw, right, ornaments. See, the unique qualities of the Lord's ornaments, explained by Acharya Ramanuja in his great prayer, Sharanagati Gadyam. See, not only they are transcendental, but the Lord, who is bedecked with unlimited variety of ornaments, right? See, ornaments are of different kinds. Vividha. So, Vividha has 2 meanings. 1, different kinds of ornaments such as crown, earrings, waist belt, armlets, necklace, etc. Second is ornaments made of pearl, coral, gold, diamond, etc. So this is Vividha. So in the material world, even if people have desire to wear a variety of ornaments, even if they have money and buy all those ornaments, they will not be able to wear all the ornaments at all times. This is because our body being material made of 5 elements and limited in size and capacity, we cannot wear all other varieties of ornaments in one time. Not possible. See, in some opulent marriages and other functions, we see, that the girl is very gorgeously decorated with all kinds of jewels. To such an extent, the entire body is covered with jewels. See, though it appears very opulent, it is practically experienced that the girl will really feel heavy. Sometimes uncomfortable because of the weight of the jewels. So even though people have different designs and types of jewels, they can wear only limited jewels at a time. But the Lord does not have any of these problems because of his form. Because his form is unlimited, in all pervading. And also his form is completely spiritual. So he can adorn himself with infinite varieties of infinite ornaments. So in Bhagavata Purana and also other scriptures we see that whenever the Lord gives his audience to his devotees, he was fully decorated with variety of ornaments. That's what we saw on 5.3, just now the third verse, right? Description of the Lord when he appeared in the sanctuary arena of Maharajanabi, king performed a when we use. So, see, the Lord appeared in spiritual form decorated with variety of ornaments. So the Lord, he wears different kinds of ornaments. And in each kind, there are different varieties. See, the Lord wears countless varieties of crowns. Not only one crown, varieties of crowns, countless varieties of bracelets, countless varieties of necklaces. So this is something uncommon in the material world, because even though a rich person or king may have varieties of crowns, chains or whatever, he cannot wear them at the same time. Because we have only one body and it cannot take all these varieties. People who had, even see, multiple heads like Ravana, who can expand into multiple forms, he could decorate themselves with only one at a time, right? Not more than one at a time. Even those people who cannot adorn themselves with countless varieties of ornaments, right? They can also not do. The Lord exists simultaneously in unlimited unique forms. So he can decorate himself with countless varieties of ornaments befitting each of his form. So this point was demonstrated by the Lord when he showed his universal form to Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra. So the form is described in 11.5 Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and many divine weapons, right? So the Lord's form is decorated with transcendental ornaments. Divya Abharanam. And also they are Aneka, means many and uncountable. You cannot count. So the Lord showed infinite faces, necks, infinite waist, right? Each was unique. So in each of his face, neck and waist, the Lord was bedecked with unique crown, unique earrings. So decorated with infinite ornaments of infinite varieties. So the Lord, yes, has eternal infinite forms like, right? Varaha, Trivikrama, Rodram, Narsimha, right? Each form has a unique design of crown, earring, bracelet. Perfectly suits that form. So the Lord's ornaments are Vichitra. See, from the 4th verse in the chapter, the prayers, the priests, in the arena, they start praying from verse number 4 up to verse number 15. And the Lord reciprocates to those prayers in verses 17 and 18. See, in the translation of 4 and 5, the priests, they began to offer prayers to the Lord. What did they say? They say, "O worshipful one, we are simply your servants. Although you are full in yourself, please, out of your causeless mercy, accept a little service from us. Your eternal servants." So we are not actually aware of your transcendental form, but we can simply offer our respectful obeisances again and again, as instructed by the Vedic literatures and authorized acharyas. Materialistic living entities are very much attracted to the modes of material nature, and therefore they are never perfect. But you are above the jurisdiction of all material conceptions. Your name, form, and qualities are all transcendental and beyond the conception of experimental knowledge. Indeed, who can conceive of you? In the material world, we can perceive only material names and qualities. We have no other power than to offer respectful obeisances and prayers unto you, the transcendental person. The chanting of your auspicious transcendental qualities will wipe out the sins of all mankind. That is the most auspicious activity for us, and we can thus partially understand your supernatural position. So they started the prayer very nicely. So, see, just by chanting those prayers, no, the auspicious qualities of the Lord, it will wipe out all the sins of all mankind. And they say this is the most auspicious activity, chanting. See, in the purport, Prabhupada says the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do with the mental perception. Even the impersonalist Shankaracharya says, Narayana paro avyaktat. Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond the mental conception. See, we cannot concoct the form and attributes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We must simply accept the description given in the Vedic literatures about the Lord's form and activities. That's why Brahma Samhita very beautifully says the first verse, 5.29. Chintamani prakara satma sukalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhir avipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So he says, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires, in abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. So we can have the conception of the absolute truth, right? So this is a very important point. See, one devotee shared a nice pastime of Lord Krishna in Guruvayur, Kerala. Many years ago, there lived a very poor lady who was an ardent devotee of Lord Guruvayurappa. Krishna only, right? So she lived in a village far away from Guruvayur. And she eagerly waited for the Lord's darshan. She wanted to offer something for Krishna, Guruvayurappa. But since she was very poor, right? She could not afford to get anything valuable. So she came across manjadi seed. You might have seen red color glossy seeds of coral tree, small, round, glossy, right, red one. That is manjadi seed. She decided to collect them and offer it to Guruvayurappa. So fascinated by their beauty, she began to collect them, hoping to one day carry them with her to the temple as a gift to the Lord. So one by one, she would pick them from the ground, treating each one like a precious gem, polishing them, keeping them safe from the rain and dust. See, in her eyes, each of them glowed with warmth and very beautiful. She was feeling so wonderful. She eagerly waited the day when the Lord would see them. Others, though looking at her, they were laughing at her. They called her mad to pick the worthless seeds. But she continued to do what she believed in. After 1 year, she could accumulate a nice pot of manjari seeds, and she then began her journey to Guruvayur. She walked all the way to Guruvayur for nearly 44 days. So whenever she was tired, she used to rest by the roadside. Somehow she reached the temple, and that day happens to be a special day because it is the first day of the month. So as per tradition, the local king visits the temple to offer an elephant to the Lord. So the temple authorities, in an attempt to make sure that the royal family members have a nice darshan, they started pushing away the common people. And the old lady fell down with her pot of manjari seeds. The seeds got scattered everywhere. At that moment, the elephant became berserk. It ran here and there, scaring the people in the temple. So unable to control the elephant, the king, he prayed to the Lord, to Lord Guruvayurappa, and spoke. And Lord, when the king prayed, then Lord Guruvayurappa reciprocated. He said, "Where is my manjari guru? Why did you insult my devotee who had brought those manjari seeds with love?" Then everyone assembled realized the mistake, and they sought forgiveness from the old lady. At once the elephant also became calm. The king asked the authorities to first offer the manjari seeds to the Lord. Then he offered the elephant to the Lord. So in remembrance of this loving offering done by this old lady, it has been a practice in Krishna temples in Kerala to offer these beautiful manjari seeds for the Lord. Please go to Guru, see it's a very big, huge pot. So Maharaj Nabi and his queen, Mary Devi, underwent many austerities and penances and worshipped Lord Vishnu. So pleased by their austerities, Lord Vishnu appeared before them, and at that time the priests engaged in doing sacrifice glorified the Lord by offering nice prayers. So in the 6th verse he says, O Supreme Lord, you are full in every respect. You are certainly very satisfied when your devotees offer you prayers with faltering voices and in ecstasy bring you tulsi leaves, water, twigs bearing new leaves and newly grown grass. This surely makes you satisfied. So just the prayers, no. So in the purport, Prabhupada very nicely mentions, the Supreme Lord can be pleased only by devotional service. Therefore it is said that the Lord is surely satisfied by devotion, nothing else. So quoting from Gautamiya Tantra, Haribhakti Vilasa states, Tulsi dala matrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinite syam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhakta vatsalaha. So Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water. So the Supreme Lord is causelessly merciful upon his devotee. So much so that even the poorest of men can offer him a little water and a flower in devotion and thus please him. So this is due to his affectionate dealings with his devotees. He says Patram Pushpam Phalam Tvayam, right? So in this pastime also we find that although the old lady was very poor and people around consider her offering as a worthless gift, but the Lord, by personally asking for those seeds, has shown how much he valued those manjari seeds. So the very beautiful instructions, right? During this chapter 5, 5th canto, 3rd chapter, very instructive, sincere prayers offered by the priests at Maharaj Nabi's sacrifice. And after the sacrifice was over, Lord Vishnu appeared. And somehow at the end, the priests, they felt ashamed for conducting such gorgeous sacrifices just for Maharaj to have a son. So they prayed in the 7th and 8th verse. What did they say? They say, O Lord, we have engaged in your worship with many things and have offered sacrifices unto you. But we think there is no need for so many arrangements to please your Lordship. So Prabhupada says in the purport, in a big sacrificial ceremony, there may be many things accumulated to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. But if there is no devotion, attachment or love for the Lord, all those arrangement is useless. See, the Lord is complete in himself, right? And he does not need anything from us. So if we offer him a little water, flower, tulsi leaf, he will accept. See, bhakti, devotional service, is the main way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only way. See, it is not a question of arranging huge sacrifices. So the priests were regretful, thinking that they were not on the path of devotional service. And that their sacrifice was not pleasing to the Lord. So the verse says, all of life's goals and opulences are directly, self-sufficiently, unceasingly, unlimitedly increasing in you at every moment. Indeed, you are unlimited enjoyment and blissful existence itself. As far as we are concerned, O Lord, you are always after material enjoyment. You do not need all these sacrificial arrangements, but they are meant for us so that we may be benedicted by your Lordship. So all these sacrifices are performed for our fruitive results and they are not actually needed by you. So this is another prayer this priest said. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, being self-sufficient, the Supreme Lord does not need huge sacrifices. Fruitive activity for a more opulent life is for those who desire such material opulence for their interest. Yajnatar karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Bhagavad Gita 3.9. So if we do not act to satisfy the Supreme Lord, we engage in Maya's activities. See, we must, Prabhupada says, we may construct a gorgeous temple, spend thousands of dollars, but such a temple is not required by the Lord. Lord has many millions of temples for his residence. He does not need our attempt. He does not require opulent activity at all. such engagement is meant for our benefit. So if we engage our money in constructing a gorgeous temple, then we are freed from the reactions of our endeavors. This is for our benefit. And in addition, if we attempt to do something nice for the Supreme Lord, He is pleased with us and gives His benedictions to us. So the conclusion is that the gorgeous arrangements are not for the Lord's sake, but for our own. So these are very good points for us to meditate upon. The priests, they honestly express to the Lord that they are after material enjoyment and are doing some elaborate sacrifice to fulfill material purposes. So we should also try to introspect our own inner desires in doing any grand arrangements for such ritualistic sacrifices or even in our Krishna conscious programs. See, in the pretext of entertaining the general mass, what happens now? We end up diluting the intensity of our programs. And as a result, the change of heart does not take place. And the general mass of people, they are not aware of this, right? Instead, if we simply stick to the basic formula of Srila Prabhupada, chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, recitation of the shlokas, shastras and serving prasadam, our efforts will bear positive results. So that all of us will escape such extremely dangerous Maya pitfalls under the name of religion with the blessings of and full guidance of our pure devotees. So we should beg the Lord's mercy, right? And then, so that we can satisfy and please the modern age followers, and our materialistic mind. See, in the 9th and 10th, the 9th translation says, O Lord of Lords, this continuation of prayers by the priests. O Lord of Lords, we are completely ignorant of the execution of dharma, artha, kama and moksha, the process of liberation, because we do not actually know the goal of life. You have appeared personally before us like a person soliciting worship. Well, actually, you are present here just so we can see you. You have come out of your own abundant causeless mercy in order to serve our purpose, our interest, and give us the benefit of your personal glory called apavarga, liberation. You have come, although you are not properly worshipped by us due to our ignorance. So see, in the purport, Prabhupada says, Lord Vishnu was personally present at the sacrificial arena, but this does not mean that he had any interest in his own personal benefit. See, similarly, Prabhupada very nicely gives an example. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha, that is the deity in the temple, is present for the same purpose. See, out of his costless mercy, the Supreme Personality of Godhead presents himself before us so that we can see him. When you go to the temple, we see. So Krishna can also see. Since we have no transcendent vision, we cannot see the spiritual Satchidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Therefore, out of his costless mercy, he comes in a form we can see. We can only see material things like stone, wood. So therefore, he accepts the form of stone and wood and accepts our service in the temple. So this is an exhibition of Lord's costless mercy. Although the Lord has no interest in such things. So in order to receive our loving service, he agrees to act as he does. So we cannot actually offer suitable paraphernalia for the Lord's worship because we are completely ignorant. It was out of his costless mercy that the Lord appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Nabi. So the 10th translation, it's the priests are praying again, O most worshipable of all, you are the best of all benefactors. And your appearance at saintly King Nabi's sacrificial arena is meant for our benediction. Because he has been seen by us, you have bestowed upon us the most valuable benediction. So Prabhupada says in the purport, Nija Purusha Ikshana Vishaya. Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal to everyone. In that sense, he has no enemies and no friends. So everyone is enjoying the fruitive reactions of his own work. And the Lord, within everyone's heart, is observing and giving everyone the desired result. However, just as the devotees are always anxious to see the Supreme Lord satisfied in every way, similarly the Supreme Lord is very anxious to present himself before his devotees. That's why in 4.8 Krishna in Bhagavad Gita he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstaphanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So Krishna's appearance is for the deliverance and satisfaction of his devotees. Actually, he does not invent himself simply to kill the demons. But that can be done by his agents. Lord Vishnu's appearance at the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Nabi was just to please the king and his assistants. Otherwise, there was no reason for his being present there. Right? So this is a very important lesson we can see. When the priests conduct a yajna to the Lord Vishnu on behalf of King Nabi, who was praying for the benediction of a son, right? The priests offer the wonderful prayers they are giving. And it is very meaningful for all of us to learn. So very beautiful things in this prayer. What are those? Number one, see, the priests firstly admit that there are several instances when we may forget to chant or remember the Lord's holy names. Very true, right? So when we stumble, we normally think of how we can save ourselves first instead of remembering Krishna. When we are hungry, we only look for where to get the food instead of remembering Krishna or seeing Krishna in that hunger. We yawn. We all feel sleepy or inattentive. So there is no question of remembering Krishna at that time. Even when we are practicing devotional service, all these factors which will impede our remembrance of Krishna, right? So then what to speak of disease and death? So the priests instruct us that we got to be wary of these situations that will prevent us from remembering Krishna. We must be alert. The second point is, the priests, they teach us that when such hurdles are there in this world, the only way we can get out of those hurdles is by remembering and praying to the all-powerful Lord Krishna. Chant. It is only with His mercy that we can remember Him or chant His holy names. Without His mercy, we cannot chant also. So when we are chanting, that means Krishna is remembering us. So this thought we have to ingrain in our hearts. Otherwise, if we think that we can chant on our own, then soon the naked truth will be revealed to us. The third point is, the priests teach us that we have to always remember that the Lord is very affectionate towards His devotees. So this favorable relationship is very important for our positive devotional service. Otherwise, the same devotional service we will do not with any happiness or any positive feeling. Just, we have to do it like that. Be grudging like that. That way it neither attracts Krishna nor it helps us in advance in devotional service. So remembering the affection of Krishna towards His devotees will inspire us to love Krishna more and more. Chant His holy names more lovingly and remember Him more fondly and affectionately. So let us take the inspiration from these prayers of the priests, and pray to the Lord for His mercy, to remember Him and chant His holy names, because we can only remember Krishna if Krishna remembers us. The 12th verse is very, very important. I'll just share the screen for this 12th verse. When this verse we should always be remembering. This is 12th. The translation says, Dear Lord, we may not be able to remember your name, form and qualities due to stumbling, hunger, falling down, yawning or being in a miserable disease condition at the time of death when there is a high fever. We therefore pray unto you, O Lord, for you are very affectionate to your devotees. Please help us remember you and utter your holy names, attributes and activities which can dispel all the reactions of our sinful lives. Please help us remember you. Purport says, the real success in life is Ante Narayana Smriti. Remembering the holy name, attributes, activities and form of the Lord at the time of death. Although we may be engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the temple, material conditions are so tough and inevitable that we may forget the Lord at the time of death due to a disease condition or mental derangement. Therefore, we should pray to the Lord to be able to remember His lotus feet without fail at the time of death, when we are in such a precarious condition. In this regard, Prabhupada mentions to see Bhagavatam 6 to 9, 10 and 14 and 15. So I have taken those translations and just read it out to you. See the importance of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. The translation of 6 to 9 and 10, it says, 6th canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 9 and 10. Please hear carefully. The chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for whom? Chanting of holy names is the best process of atonement for whom? Look at what he says. For a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one who murders women, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. This is 6 to 9 and 10. Now what is 6 to 14? One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, even if he chants jokingly for musical entertainment or even neglectfully. This is accepted by the all learned scholars of the scriptures. And the 6 to 15, if one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, such as falling from the top of a house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life, even though he is sinful, just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So the purport Prabhupada says, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So if one practices chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, he is naturally expected to chant Hare Krishna when he meets with some accident. Even without such practice, if one somehow or the other chants the holy name of the Lord, right, Hare Krishna, when he meets with an accident and dies, he will be saved from hellish life after death. Such is the power of this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So in the 13th, up to the 15th verse, the prayers are there. So the 13th prayer, Dear Lord, here is the great King Nabi, whose ultimate goal in life is to have a son like you. Your Lordship, his position is like that of a person approaching a very rich man and begging for a little grain. Maharaj Nabi is so desirous of having a son that he is worshipping you for a son. Although you can offer him any exalted position, including elevation to the heavenly planets, liberation back to Godhead. This is why Prabhupada says the purport. The priests, they were a little ashamed that King Nabi was performing a great sacrifice just to ask the Lord's benediction for a son. Because the Lord could have offered him promotion to heavenly planets or Vaikuntha planets. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us how to approach the Supreme Lord and ask him for the ultimate benediction. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? He said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitama jagadisha kamaye. In Shishtastakam he says, he did not want to ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. Material opulence means riches, nice family, good wife, many followers. But an intelligent devotee doesn't ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. His only prayer is, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahituki Tvai. He wants to be engaged perpetually in the loving service of the Lord. He does not want promotion to heavenly planets or mukti, liberation from material bondage. If this were the case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have said, Mama Janmani Janmani. See, it doesn't matter to a devotee whether or not he takes birth life after life, as long as he remains a devotee. Actually, eternal liberty means returning back home, back to God. A devotee is never concerned about anything material. See, although Nabi Maharaj wanted a son like Vishnu, wanting a son like God is also a form of sense gratification. A pure devotee wants only to engage in the Lord's loving service. So in the 14th prayer, the priests say, Dear Lord, unless one worships the lotus feet of great devotees, one will be conquered by the illusory energy, and his intelligence will be bewildered. Indeed, who has not been carried away by the waves of material enjoyment, which are like poison? Your illusory energy is unconquerable. No one can see the path of this material energy or tell how it is working. See, Maharaj Nabi was inclined to performing great sacrifices for begetting a son. Prabhupada says the son might be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but such a material desire, be it great or insignificant, is brought about by the influence of Maya. A devotee does not at all desire anything for sense gratification. Devotion is therefore explained as devoid of material desires, anya abhilashata shunya. So everyone is subjected to the influence of Maya and then entangled in all kinds of material desire. Maharaj Nabi was no exception, right? So freedom from Maya's influence is possible only when one engages in service of great devotees. So without worshipping the lotus feet of great devotee, one cannot be freed from Maya's influence. So very, very important. So Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya, 7.14 Bhagavad Gita says. So this divine energy of mind, consisting of three modes of mental nature, is difficult to overcome. Only a devotee can surpass Maya's great influence. So it was no fault of Maharaj Nabi's part that he wanted a son. He wanted a son like the Supreme Lord, who is the best of all sons. So by the association of Lord's devotee, one no longer desires material opulence. And this is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.54. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kaya Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Haya. And Mahat Kripa Vina Kona Karme Abhakti Naya Krishna Bhakti Dhure Rahu Samsara Nahe Kshaya. See, one is serious about escaping Maya's influence and returning home back to Godhead. One must associate with the sadhu. So this is veridict of all the scriptures. So very, very important. The last 15th verse he says, O Lord, you perform many wonderful activities. Our only aim was to acquire a son by performing this great sacrifice. Therefore, our intelligence is not very sharp. We are not experienced in ascertaining life's goals. By inviting you to this negligible sacrifice for some material motive, we have certainly committed a great offense at your lotus feet. Therefore, O Lord of Lords, please excuse our offense because of your costless mercy and equal mind. So they were unhappy, for doing such an insignificant reason, right? So these are the very beautiful prayers. That's why the 16th verse is, Sukadeva Goswami is telling, the priests who were even worshipped by King Nabi, right, offered prayers in prose. That's what we saw. So they bowed on them. So the Lord of Lords, ruler of demigods, was very pleased with them. By these prayers, Lord Vishnu who came there, he began. So he replied. So he starts replying, right? He reciprocates the prayers by the prayer. So he says, the Lord says, O great sages, I am certainly very pleased with your prayers. So how wonderful we feel, right? We may say that every day we are chanting, we are saying and reciting shlokas, we are not again, you may not hear, but it is there. It's facilitating various things happening in our life, right? You will definitely reciprocate. But if he says, Tavat, be patient. Continue chanting, continue hearing, but be patient. So I am certainly pleased with your prayers. You are all truthful. You have prayed for the benediction of a son like me for King Nabi, but this is very difficult to obtain. Since I am the Supreme Person without a second, since no one is equal to me, another personality like me is not possible to find. In any case, because you are all qualified Brahmanas, your vibrations should not prove untrue. I consider the Brahmanas who are well qualified with Brahmanical qualities to be as good as my own mouth. See, the word Avitata Giribhi means they whose spoken vibrations cannot be nullified. So Brahmanas, Dvija, twice born, they are given a chance by the Shastric regulations to become almost as powerful as the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada says in the purport, whatever a Brahmana speaks cannot be nullified or changed in any circumstance. According to Vedic scriptures, a Brahmana is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, in all the rituals, a Brahmana is offered food, Brahmana Bhojana. Because when a Brahmana eats, it is considered that the Supreme Lord himself eats. Similarly, whatever a Brahmana speaks cannot be changed. It must act. The learned sages who were priests in Maharaj Nabhi's sacrifice were not only Brahmanas but were so qualified that they were like devas, demigods, or God. See, if this were not the case, no, how could they invite Lord Vishnu to come to the sacrificial arena? God is one. God does not belong to this or that religion. In Kali Yuga, different religious sects consider that God to be different from God of others. That is not possible. God is one, and He is appreciated according to different angles of vision. So in this word, the word Kaivalyat means that God has no competitor. There is only one God. That's why in the Shvetopanishad it said, Natat Samars Chabhyadikas Cha Drishyate. No one is found to be equal to Him or greater than Him. That is the definition of God. And in the 18th verse, the Lord says, since I cannot find anyone equal to me, I shall personally expand myself into a plenary portion and thus advent myself in the womb of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabhi, the son of Agnidhra. So this is an example of omnipotence of Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, although He is one without the second, He expands Himself by Swa-amsha, His personal expansion, and sometimes by Vibhinna-amsha, separate expansion. See, let us see what is these two. Give me just another 10 minutes, 5 minutes, we'll finish it off, okay? So in the purport says, He expands Himself, Swa-amsha and all. See, in the Brahma Samhita 5.48, Yasya kanishvasita kala mathavalambhya jivanti loma bhilaja jagadandanathah Vishnur mahansa yasya kala vishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. See, the Mahavishnu, from whose breathing period, millions of universes are coming out. And when he is inhaling, billions of universes are going within him. He is called Mahavishnu. That Mahavishnu is described in Brahma Samhita, right? So Lord Brahma, who exists only in the breathing period of Mahavishnu, is a partial expansion of Krishna. See, it's also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that there are many manifestations of Supreme Lord Vishnu. See, just like the candles, there are many candles. Each candle has got an illuminating power. Eko Bahu Sham. Vishnu expands into many, many millions of forms. So original candle is one. From that, many candles can be, right? Original is original. So those forms are called Swamsha and Vibhinamsha. So see, Swamsha, personal expansion. And then Vibhinamsha is separated expansion. So the separate expansions are like we are all living entities, right? Mamaiva Amsho Jiva in the 15.7. We are all expansions of Vishnu, but we are separated. We are not personal expansions. Personal expansion is called Vishnu Tattva and the separated are called Jiva Tattva. So we are all energy of Krishna. We cannot be Krishna. See, just like fire and heat. Heat is not different from fire, but heat is not fire. If you feel the heat, does not mean that you are touching the fire or you are being burnt. So simultaneously one and different. So this is the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Simultaneously, right? So we are neither different, simultaneously, but one but different also. Inconceivable, Achintya. So we cannot think that one thing, right, and simultaneously one another. Not possible. That's why in again Brahma Samhita 5.39 is Ramadi Mutishkalani Amena Tishtan Nana Vataram Karod Bhavaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramappamayo Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So Ramadi Mutishu. Krishna has got innumerable expansions. Some of them are called Vishnu Tattva and some of them are called Jiva Tattvas. So he has got innumerable expansions. So the Vishnu Tattva expansion, no, they are as good as Krishna. Jiva Tattva, we are Jiva Tattva. We are expansions of Krishna. Just like whole human race is expansion of some forefathers, right? Manu, man, right? This is also a Sanskrit Manu. Manushya. Similarly, original father, right, is Krishna. From his expansion, there are innumerable. So some of them are called Swamsha. So Swamsha means personal expansion. Some of them are called Vibhinamsha, separated expansions. So we are all separate expansions, but we are also Krishna's expansions. So this is what we can see, no? In fact, Bhagavatam, there is a list of incarnations. You should read in the 3rd chapter of 1st canto, where Krishna's name is there, right? Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, Ete Chamsa Kalapam Sam, right? All these lists are there. You can go through that chapter. In the last 2 verses, we just share the screen and we'll read it out. Those are 20 verses, right? Now he says Shuko Vacha. Now Shukadeva continues, after saying this, after the Lord has spoken, the Lord disappeared. The wife of King Nabi, Queen Merudevi, was sitting by the side of her husband, and consequently she could hear everything Supreme Lord has spoken. According to Vedic injunctions, see the purport. One should perform sacrifice in the company of one's own wife. Sapatni ko dharmam acharet. Religious rituals should be performed with one's wife. Therefore, Maharaj Nabi conducted his great sacrifice with his wife by his side. You can see in a lot of our yajnas which we do, pujas and all, wife is there. She is not a dharma patni, not kama patni. In the last verse, 20th verse, O Vishnu Datta, Parishit Maharaj. The name of Parishit Maharaj is also known as Vishnu Datta. Supreme Personal Godhead was pleased by the great sages at that sacrifice. Consequently, the Lord desired to personally exhibit the method of executing religious principles, as observed by Brahmacharis, Sannyasis, Vanaprasthas and Grahasthas engaged in rituals, and also satisfy Maharaj Nabi's desire. Consequently, he appeared as the son of Merudevi in his original spiritual form, which is above the modes of material nature. So when the Supreme Lord appears or descends as an incarnation within this material world, he does not accept a body made of three modes of material nature: Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Mayavadi philosophers say that the impersonal God appears in this material world by accepting a body in the Sattva Guna. Okay? But Srila Vaishnava Chakravarti states that the word Shukla means consisting of Shuddha Sattva. Lord Vishnu descends in his Shuddha Sattva form. Now Shuddha Sattva refers to the Sattva Guna, which is never contaminated. In this world, material world, even the mode of goodness, Sattva Guna is contaminated by tinges of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So when Sattva Guna is never contaminated by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, it is called Shuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam, 4.3.23 Bhagavatam says. That is the platform of Vasudeva, whereby the Supreme Personal Godhead Vasudeva can be experienced. That's why in the 4 points of Krishna says, Ida Ida Hidharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyuttananda Adharmasya Tadatmanam Sujamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, O predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. So unlike ordinary living entities, the Supreme Lord is not forced by the modes of material nature to appear. He appears dharmam darshayetu kama, to show how to execute the functions of a human being. The word dharma is meant for human beings and is never used in connection with beings inferior to human beings, such as animals. Unfortunately, without being guided by the Supreme Lord, human beings sometimes manufacture a process of dharma by concoction. Actually, dharma cannot be made by man. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam, Bhagavatam 6.3.19. Dharma is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as the law is given by the state government. Man-made dharma has no meaning. Srimad Bhagavatam refers to a man-made dharma as Kaitava dharma, cheating religion. The Supreme Lord sends an avatara, incarnation, to teach human society the proper way to execute religious principles. Such religious principles are Bhakti Marga. As the Supreme Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. The son of Maharaj Nabi, Rishabhadeva, appeared on this earth to preach the principles of religion. That will be explained in the 5th chapter of the 5th canto. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of 5th canto, 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Rishabhadeva's appearance in the womb of Merudevi, the wife of King Nabi. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gautama Vancha Kalpatarubhich Kripa Sindhubai Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava. Thank you very much, Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify ourselves. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, any points you felt very useful to share, you can do that. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.